Welcome to the Go One More Step podcast. I'm Brian White. I'm a veteran, I'm a survivor of my brother's suicide, and I'm talking to people about overcoming challenges of all kinds.
Dude, how you doing? How's things,
I'm
man?
good. I'm good. How you been, man?
Yeah, living life, living well. Trying to live well. Hope that comes with its own reward.
Yeah, I understand that, man.
How's things
I'm
with you,
con
man? What you got going on?
um everything, man. It's the holiday weekend that people
Mhm.
have, so of course it's gonna be family and stuff, but just living my life, man, trying to get better every day that I can and trying to expand my horizons on my gift that I've been given and just push as much as I can in this crazy world that we're in.
Yeah. How many? And we'll give you a chance at the end to list them out and give some plugs. How many active projects are you working right now?
Active right now, one. I finished a lot of them recently, so
Okay.
one that's active right now, maybe one, but I have about five or six in post production.
Okay.
So that's kind of the plus side. I have things that I'm sitting on waiting to come out, but this last thing that I'm working on right now is just it's a pilot for one of my friends. So
Okay.
yeah, what I'm working on right now.
Good deal. Good deal.
Uh,
Now, I've had a question for a while now. So you're an actor
yes,
and you're in Richmond.
yes, sir.
Now, and forgive me if I'm just speaking from perfect ignorance, but it doesn't seem like, at least it didn't in the past for a while, like Richmond was a real big kind of filmmaking hub. Now it seems like that's growing. So it's a chicken egg question. Did you settle on Richmond because there's a growing scene, or are you part of the force that's driving that scene growing?
That's a great question. That's a really, really good question, Ed. Um, I would say I'm part of the scene, the people that are thriving and pushing the scene.
Mm-hmm.
I've been on the scene actually in Richmond and a big part of it for like the past 10 years. So
Right.
I've always had some type of involvement with more on the music side. Then I did more writing for magazines and articles
Okay.
like RVA Magazine, the Cheats Movement podcast. I did stuff with them and brought a lot of acts to Richmond. We brought people like Joe Budden, which is another podcaster that's huge out here. We brought him to Richmond to perform. We brought people like Styles P, which is a group called the Rough Riders, the Locks. Have you ever heard of the Locks? From that group, we brought him here. Raekwon from Wu Tang.
Okay.
Just different acts that we brought to Richmond to perform and to make the city seem like a hub now, because it
Right.
hasn't been a hub for a while when it came to music. So we kind of brought that here. We brought a lot of people's attention with stuff. I worked with a guy named Black Liquid, which is one of the biggest like acts in Richmond. Me and him did a lot of music together, so I've always just been part of the team with him. I'm still part of the team with him. That's how I kind of became part of the city, the core. And then with that, I just branched into acting because I've always done acting. I've always, in some type of capacity, had that acting bug in me because as a kid, I've done plays and then growing up in the theater, doing that. And then when I turned 18, I got into music. And then I had a friend of mine asked for me to be in a film called Ball in the Fall of America. And it was my first film I've ever done. And this was like 2012, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
And I did the scene. I did the movie. I played a guy named Mike, which is he's like a butthead type of lawyer guy. So I played that guy and ended up like loving doing film because I've never done it before, like professionally. So that's where I got the bug into becoming an actor around 2012, 2013. And then about 2017, when I got let go from my job, I had nothing but time. So
Yeah.
with that time, I just studied acting stuff. I was getting into commercials like a couple months prior to that happening. I did a few commercials for Geico, Ride Finders, which is like a GRTC or bus line, like kind of like Uber here. And I did a bunch of stuff like that. So once I did that, it just branched off into, all right, I have all this time. Let me just find as many acting gigs as I can possible. So I just put my foot to the pavement and I got involved with just doing that. Then I found one of the best things I could have done was coming across this woman named Jay on a set, and she put me on to doing something with her, which is called RSM, Risk and Strategic Management, which is what I've worked on with where I've met you.
Right.
And I've met so many other great people in my life that have became more than just coworkers. They're more like extended family. So dealing with that, and that's more like an improv thing on top of finding acting gigs, kind of got me that bug to just do it 100%. And with that, I took up a part-time gig that next year and was just doing acting and RSM. And it was probably one of the best decisions I could have made for my career as an actor, because it gave me so much time to hone in on that and focus on my acting career. And that's from that point, I became an actor, and that's where I'm at now, where I'm SAG eligible. I've been in films with some of the biggest people out here, from Ethan Hawke, Daveed Diggs, Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman 2. It's just so many things that I've done just by chasing that path. And we can get in between the why those things happen the way that they happen at the talk.
Well, I want to talk about the first decision you kind of almost obliquely mentioned, but it sounds like a huge one. So you got let go from your job and got put in a situation where a lot of people would have gone straight to despair.
Yeah.
Instead, as you said, you put the accelerator to the floor and put your full focus into becoming an actor. Was that a conscious choice?
It was, I would say it's unconscious, because I just took a leap. Like I didn't know if I was going to fail or if I was going to succeed. And at the time, with the partner I was with, she had her half of whatever she was paying, and I had my half. So with my half, I had to kind of pinch pennies and do things. And yes, she did help me too at the time, but I had to really pinch pennies and really like focus on, this is what I have to do. I can't go buy the nice, shiny, whatever I wanted to buy at the time. Couldn't do that. So I had to focus on just, all right, I got to save gas to get from this point to this point. All right, I have to eat kind of scarcely this week, or I have to work on my diet this week, and just lie and say that, hey, this is my diet. No, it's not a diet. I don't have enough money to eat. So I have to kind of psych yourself out, like, all right, man, you just got to go 100%. You're not going to be able to do the things that you were doing before. You're going to just have to go for it. And for 2 years, I worked outside of Virginia. So I never was really in Virginia working. I was more in DC, Maryland, a lot of things out there. If I was in Virginia, it was more Southern Virginia, like Virginia Beach and Danville and those areas. But I never really focused on Richmond for 2 years. It was just me doing things outside. I was knocking out gigs from left to right, and really focusing on just, all right, I need to get somewhere with this. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm just going to let this God take me where I needed to go, or whatever people believe in. That spirit just took me wherever I needed to go. And with that happening, I just focused, man. I just maintained focus. There was nights where I cried my eyes out because I didn't know where my next check was coming from, or the acting that I worked for was taking so long to come that I was going broke, or I was really pinching pennies, or my significant other was like, what are we going to do? Because we're going bad. Like, I got what I have, but I mean, what can we do? So there was just a lot of faith, man, a lot of faith. And like I said, I just took that leap, man, and just had to do what I can to get a penny, but using the gift that I was given to do it. And it thank God I was in a position where I could find those things, because if I wasn't the person that I was, more of a focus, like I'm more of a tunnel vision like type guy, if that makes any sense. Like, when I want something, I want it. And it wasn't even that I wanted to do this, it's what I needed to do and what my calling was. I couldn't stop whatever was telling me inside, hey, look up all this stuff about acting, or talk to this people about acting, or go to this event or to this class about acting, and just go for it. It was unconscious, an unconscious decision. It's more like a struggle mode. Like, you just go into struggle mode. All right, what can I do? Let me do this.
So you mentioned faith a few times, and that's a hugely powerful motivator, and it's a huge boost wherever somebody finds it, putting yourself in the hands of a higher power, whatever name you want to give it. I know a lot of people for whom that's even people of very deep faith, for whom in the smaller moments, that's not enough. And it sounds like you had a lot of times where on Thursday, you didn't know what Friday was going to bring for you, or on Monday, you didn't know how you're going to make it through to Tuesday. So with faith is a huge part of it. What else did you do to just get over those mini humps?
I come from a very spiritual background. Like I was always taught to have some type of belief or something to strive for. And my grandmother, I would say, is one person that I would talk to a lot during those times. Was when I would be on my lowest. Right. I talked to her and she gave me that boost to keep going and to keep striving and to keep knowing where you come from. You know who you are. Just look in the mirror and say, self, you got this. Like, and I did those things. And now she's no longer here.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's more of like, I can say with the movie Black Panther, like you've seen that movie, or if anybody's seen that movie where T'Challa talks. What'd you say?
Has anybody not?
Yeah, I mean, who hasn't? But there's the part where T'Challa is talking to his father in the spiritual realm, where he says, "Death is not the end." That really helped me a lot with the deaths that have happened in these past few years to me. I've lost a lot of people. My grandmother being one of the biggest ones, and the most impactful ones. That believing in that death is not the end was kind of like still believing in what she said and all those morals that she gave me. I still kept those whole in my heart, and it kept me to keep going. Like having family, a good family and a good spiritual upbringing is a good thing for anybody that's in any type of field or any type of thing where they're trying to better themselves or exceed. You need some type of something to believe in. Some people believe in the weirdest things, and I'm not even gonna call it weird because that'd be wrong, but there's some things you'd be like, that really helps you. And you know what? If it helps you, go for it. Yeah. If that's what makes you live to see the next day, go for it. It may seem crazy to like I can't understand it, or you may not be able to understand it. But if it's for them, that's what they do. That's their faith. Right. And I guess my faith was family and having that core there that I'm gonna be all right. That's what kept me going with everything in my life. And it's hard sometimes for me. Like sometimes I still battle with depression or thoughts of deleting. But I know that I can't do that because with me moving the way I'm moving, I'm inspiring somebody else. I've had so many people come up to me and be like, yo, because I saw you on that commercial, my niece wants to get into acting now. What can I do? And I tell them what they need to do. Or somebody be like, hey, bro, let's just meet up for the day. I just want to talk to you and pick your brain about acting. And I'll meet up with people for that. And I'm not one of these people that'll charge you for that or anything. I'll meet up with you and let's talk about things because I believe in giving information to people. There's no price on that. The price on that, my payment for that is seeing you grow because you listen. Right. You listen. And my faith has always been intertwined with all that. So with me being that type of person, it's always helped to know that there's something else beyond what I'm doing. There's a goal here. There's some reason, whether it's to inspire somebody or to inspire a child, whoever I can inspire, whoever I can help with them seeing me as even as a Black man in this world go beyond what we're used to seeing. That's my payment, man. Like it's faith. That's all I believe in mostly is just my faith. That's the thing that keeps me going.
So let me ask kind of a weird question. How will you know you've made it?
That's a good question. To know that I've made it. Making it to me is to be able to wake up every day and love what you're doing. That's making it to me. Whether you've making it doesn't mean financial making it doesn't mean status wise I've made it. it's just waking up every day and being like, yo, I get to go do my dream job. Whether it's being on a set or directing or even being in a film, that's making it to me. And I've tasted that. And it tastes so damn good, Brian. Like, it tastes so good to be able to wake up some days and be like, word, I got an acting gig today. I'll get paid for it. I'll get a couple $100. I'll be able to stack that and do whatever I can, do this, do that. That's what making it means to me. And I can say that I'm there. Like,
Yeah.
I may not be there 100% where every single day I've done acting things, but I can wake up and say that somebody is creating something or going to create something where they're going to want me to be involved. And that's just because of what I constantly keep doing. That's making it. That's what I believe in making it is. Like, I'm living what I want to do in that aspect. That's the best way to describe it. Like, that's, to me, making it. Seeing somebody else that I've had a conversation with do what they said, what I told them, like, what the information I gave them, hey, go get this, go do this. And then I look on TV and I see them on TV. I'm like, that right there is making it to me. That's what makes me feel good. It makes me feel whole. And it's selfish because I love seeing that, but it's a good selfish. It's like, man, I love seeing people, you did that. You did that. I didn't hold your hand. I didn't coddle you all the way up there. No, you heard what I told you and you went for it. That is making it to me. It's such a great feeling. Like, I can't describe how good of a feeling it is to see that. Just the other day, there was somebody that I worked with on that Ball in the Fall of America film. Mm-hmm. A woman, Giselle. I worked with her on there, and I'm watching TV, and I see her on TV on a commercial with, I think it's what's the actress's name? I can't think of the actress, but a very huge actress where she's looking through her phone, and there she is right there as the doctor. And I'm like, yo, I've done a film with her. That's making it to me. When I'm sitting there seeing people I've worked with or people I've been around on TV, that's amazing to me.
So let me ask a follow-up to that, because, and I'm going to kind of lead you toward the answer a little bit, because when I asked what made it feels like, you changed the verb tense, and you changed the answer to a situation and not a destination. Yes. And when you ask a lot of people who are starting something, how do you know you've made it as an actor? How do you know you've made it as a stockbroker? How do you know you've made it as whatever? There's this picture that's a static reality. It's the house, it's the car, it's the Oscar goes to Roger Tyler, whatever it is. It's a frozen moment in time. But when you really get into it and you get people to really talk about what it means to have made it, they switch the verb tense just like you did and talk about being on a path. And you hit it with mentioning there are days that it's less honey and milk and roses and craft beers than others, but you're still on that path and you're making it, which is really, really, I think, powerful to me, because it says you're more focused on the process than the product. Like, if you make a movie and it plays in movie theaters, are you done being an actor? No, you're on to the next thing. And making it means, just like you said, I'm living my truth, living my dream, continuing to walk along this path, and that path is the destination.
Yes.
What was when you first started, how did you define having made it? Or was it always a present tense verb? Did you always know it was going to be a path? Or did you think there was a moment where you were going to be able to stop and go, yep, everything in this house is leather, and that art is expensive. I have made it.
The path was more being around people that I know. It's all in the company you keep when it comes to that. It's who are you around that's going to make you push to be better. And a lot of the people I was around coming up were people that were motivated and people that are driven now, people that are doing big things now. Like I was talking about with Black Liquid. He is now a signed MC. When I first met him, he came out with a song called Can I Get a Deal? And now he has a song. Now he's making songs with a record label, Strange Famous, and has a deal. couple deals. He's actually a death metal artist too. So he's a rapper and a death metal artist.
There's some range.
So yeah, super range. And being around him, Mark Cheatham, which was part of the Cheats movement, the guy that was bringing people to the city. We're working with him, promoting those things and having people come here, seeing him do things now. Now he's talking to governments, government agencies. He's talking to attorneys. He's talking to different people that are making progress in the city now. We went from talking to local rappers and people that are just motivated in the city to now talking to people that are building the city through financials and other means. And being around people like that, it makes you grow. You cannot surround yourself with people that are lesser than when you're trying to be greater than.
Yeah.
And I'm not meaning that as a be better than the next man. It's just, if there's people around you that all they do down all day long is this, all you hang around is people that just hang out on the streets or that just want to just lay around and live off of the land, you're not really going to grow with those people. You have to be with people that are in the mindset of, all right, this is bigger than me. This is better than me. This is what I got to do to be the best I can be. And if you're not surrounding yourself with those type of people, you're gonna fail. It's just the facts.
Yeah.
What person do you know that hasn't been around? Put it this way: if you're the smartest person in that room, you're in the wrong room.
I love that.
You were in the wrong room, because you shouldn't. If you want to grow, you can't learn from your surroundings.
Yeah.
So I've always been a person that's tried to get around those type of people so I can learn from them. And all the people I've just got the lucky draw, majority of them are very, very successful right now. And they look at me as successful. So we're all following each other's dreams. Like, we're seeing this happen with each other. I'm seeing this happen. And we still keep in contact and shoot each other out, share each other's stuff, like each other's stuff, text, yo, that was dope, or whatever. And all these successful people just help me grow, just like I help them grow. So like I said, man, do not be the smartest person in your room.
Yeah, you've got to put yourself, a phrase I read a while back that I immediately wrote down in a little notebook that I carry around because I'm too dumb to remember stuff like that, is build a challenge network. And just like you said, surround yourself with people that challenge you and make it hard, and you feel like you're running half a step behind pace, and really stretch yourself out. Because when you're the smartest person in the room, when you're comfortable, you're not growing. Growth happens outside the comfort zone. And people who just get in the dead center of the comfort zone and stay there, there's never going to be any change or any improvement or any growth. And then eventually you're going to realize you're stagnating, and it becomes a trap, because then you spent so long in your comfort zone that you're afraid to get out of it, but you're also afraid to stay in it. Yep. So making a habit, and it sounds so silly when you use the words, you make a habit of being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You live a happier life because of it.
Yeah. You feel more accomplished. It feels better. Yeah. Like, and I guess some people are happy with being stagnant. I'm not even going to say there aren't people on this earth that are like that aren't like that. Yeah. But there's a lot of people on this earth that are very stagnated and comfortable, and they want to live like that. They want to be the person that's just I want to follow this. They want to be a follower. They don't want to be a leader, and that's okay. That's okay. But we also have people in this world that are built to be better than that. They've been given something. They found their focus. They found their God inside them that told them, hey, you have to be a leader. You're a chosen one. Mm-hmm. And I feel like sometimes that's where I'm at. Like, I'm not even sometimes, I feel like that I'm a chosen one. It's just things I have to do on this earth that are bigger than me.
That sense of purpose, that'll take you through some dark times. That'll take you through a lot of tough times. It'll definitely take you through the minor inconveniences.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So it sounds like you are on a very good path. And to me, that means you're in a very good place. because as we talked about, being in one place is not static. Being a good place is not a static place. A good place is a path. I know you. I know it took some work to get to this path.
Yeah.
Talk to me about some of the harder times and some of the stuff you had to get through to get to where you are here, and you're celebrating the path you're walking.
Man, I went through so much just in the past 6 years, since 2017 when I lost the job I was at. I've been through so much heartbreak, so much financial woes, um, losing an apartment, um, moving back home, which some people are like now taking that as an insult in 2023, which is weird. um, just everything, man. Sometimes you just go through so much, but you learn a lot. Through all my woes, the one thing I learned was to be resilient. Um, you lose so much sometimes that you start to become numb, and that's not a good way to really harbor your feelings, becoming numb. With the help of therapy, I have been in therapy. I took therapy for 5 years. So that helped a whole lot with me really focusing on what I need to fix within myself to make myself not break as easy as things could break you in these situations.
Right.
Um, that's one thing I can definitely say is I can be thankful for that. And I know it's harder nowadays for people to go get therapy because it's just becoming such a niche thing. Everybody wants to go to therapy and this therapy, that therapy. But it's almost like we're running out of therapists because there's just it's a thing to do, which I'm more than glad that people are now seeking therapy. Um, but I would say within my story, that was something that helped me, was doing that. And with that, it was just a growth process, just learning my ins and outs, learning how to maneuver through losing an apartment, losing money, losing people in my life that I thought were going to be there. It's just more of it happened to me so much and so constant that it started to just make me a little numb. And I got back to my therapy sessions and what would I do in these situations when people leave my life or these happen, and that's just to keep pushing forward, and hoping for the best. And sometimes those best ended up with me being back at square one,
Right.
and building from that. And some people don't get back off from square one; they just stay on square one, and they're just there forever.
Yeah.
I can't be a person that through my faith growing up and through all that, I just never was a person to give up. And through all that time was just every single time that I've lost something, it chipped away at me. But what replaced it was the notion of you're gonna make it. You're gonna be all right. You have this faith in you that you had since you were a child. You're gonna be all right. Talking to my grandmother, talking to my mother, talking to very good people in my life, just growing amongst the fall. That's the thing. Like when you fall to the ground. But when you're on the ground, that's just another place for you to grow. You're a seed. So we're all seeds. So if I fall on the ground, all right, I'm back on the ground. That just means I need to grow another plant. I need to grow again. I need to find people to water my spot, help me grow again. And if I get chopped down where another seed, it'll fall down and I'll grow again. That's kind of like how I grew from the bad stuff that's happened in my life. It's just knowing that there'll be a better tomorrow. And tomorrow is never promised for some. If this is my last day and tomorrow and I'm upset, I'll be upset forever. This is how I'm gonna go. But I gotta know that beyond this, regardless of what happens, I just gotta make it a better day, the next day or the next day, and just keep growing from these situations that have happened in my life. And you've heard so much things I've came to you and even complained about in my life, and help just having a person like you around or somebody that just wants to listen to you and be your water you. Like, hey man, it's gonna be okay. It'll be all right. That helped a whole lot, man. So that's what I can say.
Did you find at any point, did you notice that the more often you fell down and, as you said, became a seed and grew back up, the more quickly you were able to do it the next time?
Yes, it was it's that building, man, that village you build around you as a human being on earth. The people that are around you, those, like I was saying before, is that village around you who can help you grow. Who's going to be those people that are going to, the next time you fall, tell you like, look, you've been through this before, you
Right.
know what to do to get out of it. Dump a whole bucket of water on that spot instead of water at this
Yeah.
time. Just dump a whole bucket, like, look, you've been through this, wake up.
Yeah.
Like, so it's that type of thing that I have too with me, man. It's just my village, man. I have a very strong village, and not all my village are people that are come from the same background. I have people that are in lower brackets than where I'm at right now. I have people that are in higher brackets than where I'm at right now. But my village is so strong that they all love me, and they cherish me. I'm like an investment. I'm a mental investment to them. Just like I was saying before, with people you watch and be like, yo, I can do that. I'm that to a lot of people. Like, they're like, yo, if you fall, bro, I know I'm a fall. So that's another reason why I love the village I have around me. Is they keep me from falling a lot.
I love that word village. I use tribe. I say find your tribe, and if you're part of the tribe that somebody joins, make sure you welcome them and show them the way. Uh, Tribe and village, I think, they're not necessarily interchangeable. They're similar enough that for this metaphor, they both work.
Yeah.
I'd love to spend another 3 hours exploring why I choose one word, you choose another, because it's very distinct. But it's so true. And and let me ask you directly, how many times did you try and fail to go it alone when you were in those dark moments before you realized that the people around you, your village, weren't just as important to the process of getting back up as you were?
I'll say the one thing that really, 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 really pushed me to know that I can't give up, or I have a strong village, was the time when my cousin passed.
Mm-hmm.
My cousin was a soldier. He was in the Air Force. Um, and he moved to Texas. And sometimes when you don't have your village around you, you can really, it can mess with you.
Yeah.
And him going through what he went through, being in the Air Force and things that have happened to him in his life, I feel like his village was here and it won't down there. So unfortunately, my cousin deleted himself.
Oh God.
And yeah, that was a very, very hard process for me. But the one thing my little cousin Mallory, she's like my baby sister, but she's my actual cousin, but it's more like a little sister. She told me the day that happened, she was like, don't ever do that to me. Just don't do that to me. Please don't have me go through this again. And from that point, if I ever thought about deleting myself, or even thought had gotten to that headspace, I just thought about those words. Like, I can't go, man. Like, I can never put my family through that again. Like, I had to deal with a lot with that situation. I had to be around my uncle a lot when that in the early times of that happened, and it's not it's hard. It's super, super hard. I dealt with things that only soldiers deal with. When my cousin did delete himself, I had to go to Texas to, of course, recover his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And where he did that was on his car. And in Texas, they don't clean off evidence. So me and my uncle, his father, had to literally clean off his car where his remains were. So that really was, it was very hard to do that. And the stuff like that that you see, like, I can't put my family through that. That right there was a turning point for me when it came to the deletions thing process. I can't do it. Um, I guess I love so strong. I love my family so strong, and I don't want them to go through that. That hurts
Mm-hmm.
to see your uncle, his father, grieve and still grieve to this day over that situation. And I couldn't do that. I could never do that, man. I could never put people I love through something like that. And I know my cousin wasn't meaning to do it out of hurting anybody. It was for him. It's always for him. Don't ever, if anybody's gone through that, don't think that it's your fault. It's more them. They feel like they need to let go.
Yeah.
So that's one reason I've constantly kept just pushing in this. That was that one key I can say with that I was just like, I can't let go of the littlest. The other day I needed money for something I didn't have, and I'm like, I'm not as stressed as I was 5 years ago when that would happen. I'd be like, oh no, I need money, and be upset. Now it's just like I gotta live, man. It's stuff better out there. I can't worry about that. That's just something small. That'll come. So that's where I'm at with that, man.
Yeah, and thank you for sharing that. That's incredibly powerful and hard stuff. And before this airs, I'm going to be sharing a monologue, and I don't know if you knew this or not. I lost my brother to suicide in 2007, and a lot of what you said is really banging around in my head right now. But yeah, you're right. It's when you have that happen, seeing the effect and feeling the effect stays with you. And when things start to get low or get hard, and that thought enters the head, and it does, it's just immediately rejected because of that. But yeah, I mean, that's never gone. My parents are never gonna stop. I'm never gonna stop grieving. It changes, it evolves over time, but it's never not there. Switching gears and kind of lifting this back up. You have somebody who's young, maybe not young, getting their start, maybe on the path, been there a while. It's hard. They're not getting auditions. They get auditions and they're not getting callbacks. They get callbacks and they're not getting selected. And they're at that point where they start thinking, you know what? I don't know, maybe accounting school, maybe something else. What are the little things to get through those moments that gets them through the half a day, that gets them through the dark night, that gets them to tomorrow, that gets them to the next audition, the next tryout, the next whatever it is? What do you tell these up and comers, regardless of their age? How do you convince them to keep grinding?
I'm gonna tell every actor this one thing, and every actor doesn't know this for some reason. A lot of them don't think they have this in them. We all have this thing, right? This thing right here. That's what we have. This right here. Me and you are talking on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a camera. That's what you have. You have your acting ability. You have your looks. You have all that. You have a camera on your phone. You have everything you need. You have everything you need. No actors don't believe that. Like you can literally make your own things. If you ever no auditions, no nuts, no, I'm not getting anything. Make your own. Around 2020, I lost about 5 or 6 gigs that I had coming for that year. Commercials. I was supposed to be in Dope Sick. All this. I was supposed to do all of that year. And it all got canceled because of the pandemic. Yep. I had nothing for that whole year and a half. I had no calls, no nothing. Everybody was still on the pandemic. But I had a friend of mine that was like, you know what? I'm going to make this series about how actors are dealing with the pandemic. And it was just out of nowhere. And I was like, you know what? That's a dope idea. So I hit him up. I was like, hey, can I do one? And he was like, yeah. So it was Kevin Tan with Farmer Pig Productions and Alain Lee. And they had I made this thing called in the day in the life of a quarantine day in the life of Will the Power. And we literally made it off of our cell phones. And we made it off of just, I call a few friends like, hey, can you Zoom call with me? We're gonna make something fun.
Yeah.
Or I'd be like, hey, I'll record this thing with my phone, or I had my significant other at the time hold my phone and I'm doing some wild superhero stuff. And we all did this on our phones. That showed me right there as an actor There is no reason for anybody as an actor right now to complain about not getting any auditions, nothing. You can create this yourself. You could do it yourself. You could find friends with cameras. You won't even have to use your cell phone. You could find somebody that has an actual video cameras that can record you doing whatever you need to do and come up with something. That's all it takes. Whenever we're in a city in the DMV, and especially the city I'm in the part of the DMV, Richmond, where it's sometimes not a lot that's going on out here. Or being who I am, I'm a Black male American in Richmond, Virginia. There's not but so many roles you can get all the time that aren't leads. So you got to create them. I've created probably 3 or 4 films since the pandemic has happened that I did with friends, with me and 3 other friends, Joy Donaldson and Sean King. With Sean King, the G1MS, look them up. Joy Donaldson, look her up. They're very dope people. And we created films. It's just us. So any actor that comes to me, I've had many actors ask me that, tell me that question. What am I going to do? I don't have no gigs. I don't have anything going on. What am I going to do? And I'm like, you have everything you need right now. While there's this empty time, do some monologues. Start practicing on your craft. Start looking at what you can do to make yourself better. Start sharpening your sword. Like you can get online and see all these things. There's billions of monologues from movies. You can look at that, reenact it, put it on your reel, put it on your Instagram page to show that you're still moving. There's so many things out here as an actor that if you're not working that you can do, that it's insane to say that you're not working. Even if you're not working for monetary gain, a working actor is a working actor. Yeah. Are you sharpening your tools? Are you sharpening your sword? Samurais don't go into battle every single day, but they sharpen their swords every single day. So they know if a battle comes, I can slice that person's head off, or I can potentially stab that person. They're ready. That's what I'm talking about. Like, you gotta have a samurai mentality, man. Like, you can't just be sitting out here like, all right, I'm gonna not, even if it's just watching a film and focusing on how they shoot, looking at different camera angles. Like, it's hard for me to even look at films the same like I used to before I was really, really focused on this craft. Like, I'm looking at things like, man, that background actor is terrible. Like, they didn't even, their arm is lifted this way in one scene. The next scene, they had their arm this way, and it looks crazy. So I'm so focused in my craft that I'm focused on other people critiquing with things. Like, I'm like, this is too much money in this budget for them to be doing that. So I've always had that mentality of sharpening your swords, man. Always sharpen your tool, man. Like, there's no reason for you to be an actor right here, not a working actor. A working actor is a working actor without monetary gain or with monetary gain.
Yeah. And that keeps the focus on the process instead of the product as well. And it keeps you on the path and moving and not stagnant. I love it. I love it.
Exactly.
So what are we plugging for you? What do we want folks looking for?
Oh, man. All right. You can always look me up on everything. I got Google. You can Google my name. I pop up with a bunch of things, my IMDb, all that. I got that stuff. But I got a couple films coming out this year. I know one I'm working with my management team or my consultant team, the Mamu Group. We have something called Summer Shower Solitude that's coming out this summer, hopefully by end of the summer. And that's basically based on a breakup. So it's a guy that's going through the stages of breakup, the 7 stages of depression. So I went through so much of me giving myself to that role where I'm crying, I'm vulnerable. This is my most vulnerable role. And this is not a short film. This is an actual hour or so long film. That's coming out. Also have to my gamers out there, anybody that's a gamer, if you played a game called Titanfall, there's a series I've been working with this guy named Caleb Chamberlain, and it's called Titanfall New Frontier, where we're doing a whole film on basically through Unreal Engine. So it looks like a whole video game. And I play a character named Commander Pyres Hayden, and it's cool how he did it. We all did it through Zoom. So what he did he got facial recognition of us, and all of our faces are in this film, but they're played on these characters.
Oh, that's great.
People from here, people from Colorado, people from California, actors from all over that are got together and are part of this film process, and that should come out early 2024. I want to say. I have a couple other things I'm working on. I'm working with a guy on a series called Hybrid, a guy named Ron Cromartie, where I'm playing a bad guy named Mr. Black. We're already 2 episodes in. You can watch those on YouTube now.
Right.
We got 4 episodes coming, so we have some more work to do on that. And we also have another series I'm working on where I'm playing an African god called Chosen, by a guy named Kyrie. Kyrie, wow, I'm missing Kyrie's last name right now. Oh, that's bad. But it's a series where I play an African god, and it's a pilot right now that we're working on. Okay. So that's mainly the things I'm working on right now. To staying focused. I'm working with other actors and other things for myself as well. So you might see some more projects from me this summer. I dropped the film Daughter, which you can still watch at Watch Mamou. That's WATCHMAMOU.com. You can watch that, and you can watch Called Together that dropped last year that I was in. So there's plenty of stuff out there for you to watch, plenty of content, plenty of everything. But that's the stuff I have right now that I'm working on.
Very nice. Roger, thank you, man. It's good. It's good always just to talk. But thank you for taking a leap of faith in this and being a little bit more real, a little bit more raw and on camera than we're used to. I miss just driving down the dirt roads toward the mystical land of Pandora and rapping. But this has been
all right.
It's
speaking of Pandora, I'll be seeing those guys on Wednesday and Thursday.
Oh, nice.
I'll be on the field, man.
I miss it, man. But thank you so much. Always good to talk, and really, I can't say enough how much I appreciate your willingness to do this.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, and it's a pleasure, man.
When we post this, I think I got about 15 web links I got to find and make sure they're in the first comments so folks can go find you. Yeah,
you can just tell them they know where to go. IMDb.com.
Yep.
You can put me in, and you'll see all my work. It's IMDb.me/Roger Tyler is the site where you can go directly to my IMDb. But like I said, I'm Googleable. Just put my name in, Roger Tyler, and I'll pop right up.
Awesome. We'll make it happen.
Definitely.